Hello everyone and welcome back to another video at Gotcha Interact. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the recent developers discussion that we got on January 22nd. We are a little bit late to covering this, but that's because we are two people, not one, in fact, person, so it's not like I can just jump on something right away. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into this. You can see right here they have some training guide upgrades again, and also no more getting lost when leveling characters, which we'll see what they mean by that. Hello Traveler, version 5.4's optimizations and adjustments mainly focus on improving the character building experience. Let's check out what's in store. Well, in the new version, the training guide is once again upgraded. You can now set up level up plans for characters to customize their unique level up targets. The system will automatically calculate the required materials and quantities and display the resource channels, providing a smoother and more efficient character building experience. And you can kind of see an example here on the Arlecchino tab. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you personally, Vixen. I haven't been really using this a lot just because I'm so used to not having used it, and it was kind of a newer feature. It was pretty cool, but we always know that there were those times we would run into certain scenarios where it was actually recommending certain things over what is actually in fact a better option. What's your experience with this whole character build guide thing previously, but also what are your opinions on this change?
Well, I think the major thing is that, like you were saying before, it was more focused on how strong are your talents compared to your character level, and that's kind of all it was taking together. And so if you didn't have like Raiden's normal attack talent level, it was like, oh, well, that's bad, you're trash. And obviously, if you know how to play Raiden correctly, the normal attack does absolutely nothing for you except for legitimately
Right.
just her normals, not the infused part from her burst. So there was definitely some interesting parts that are kind of messed up or kind of changed a little bit. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that this is just a helping tool. Like, that's just all it is. Um, you're probably going to get a lot better and more useful information, obviously, from watching build guides or having, going into Discord servers or even going into comment sections on YouTube videos and getting somebody's opinion, sometimes rather than trying to understand exactly why and how you're down or up in this certain instance and these different things. So I think it's a good help, and I think that's why Genshin is trying to do it. It's maybe because they're trying to kick out the reason for maybe other people to make guides. But I think no matter what, this is a nice change. Like, it's nice to just have as like a backup to just keep in mind, okay, I forgot what this character exactly does. How should I perfectly build them? I mean, for instance, Rift, instead of, I know you build every single character, so it's a little bit different than me, for instance, who I kind of full focus into a character whenever I get them. So you building every single character, this could be somewhat of a help, and especially for other people that don't know so much about the game and are going so deep into every facet of a character's build, this actually could be pretty helpful. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I just don't think it's never going to be the full way to go, but it is going to be a helpful tool.
Yeah, I can agree. Like you said, just it's nice, but it's not like game changing or whatever. It's helpful for the people that do want to use it or maybe have already been using this newer feature already. And so this is kind of just a cherry on top for those people. Looking next, though, all-around display of level up materials. After setting up your level up plan, the main methods for obtaining materials needed to achieve your set targets will be prioritized in the adventure handbook with unique markers. And they kind of look like that marker right there. It looks like a TCG card or something to me in that blue circle. Corresponding unique markers will also appear on interfaces commonly used for obtaining level up materials, such as battle pass rewards and domain entrances. So yeah, you can see there, that's like the adventurer's book. It's like telling me, hey, this is what you need to fight based on what you've prioritized for the character you're trying to get or whatever, or trying to build, that you set the priority to, as well as those guides. I like that because too many times, at least for me, I guess kind of like you said, because I'm building so many different characters, I'm constantly trying to go back and figure out, okay, which guide or philosophy, talent book materials do I need to do again today? If I have a set priority build character, it's actually just going to straight up tell me right there with that little icon in that top left. So that's kind of nice. Once again, not game changing, but I actually personally like that.
I like the quality of life of the battle pass rewards as well. I think that's a pretty big
Right.
thing. The domain stuff in the adventure handbook is, yes, helpful, and definitely you can just kind of go there rather than having to search the character and try to go to the talent page, open up the character, open up the talents. I totally get that. And yeah, that is kind of just a meh. But I honestly think the battle pass rewards is probably the more interesting one or better one for me, because
Yes.
usually whenever those pop up, you're never thinking about it until it pops up usually. So when it does, then
And
you're
then
like, oh,
yeah,
wait a
you
minute,
exit out and like,
which one
wait,
do I
okay,
need
who
again?
am I? Yeah.
Exactly. So then you have to like undo it, and then you only get part of the reward. You have to click off of it. You have to go back. It's not necessarily more or less like an annoyance. It's just something we've gotten used to, but it is nice, I guess, now that it is helpful, now that it at least has this little marker for you guys to see.
Hmm.
Also, a little bit later, it states some commonly used interfaces will now display resin count, so you won't need to switch between interfaces repeatedly to check. It
That's kind
talks
of
about the
nice.
training guide, the adventurer's handbook, and domain entrances. So now the domain entrances have that. So when you're in the domain and you're trying to click and see how much exactly you have of everything, that's pretty nice. Instead of having to back out, open up your map. Thankfully, if you have a strong enough system that you're on, all of those wait times go kind of nil, and they're kind of, you don't have to worry about it. But I think for the people that have longer wait times or whatnot, it can be annoying sometimes to wait for certain things to load and whatnot. So this is actually, I think, a larger help than someone who doesn't realize that it is a problem. It actually is pretty, I would think it's a pretty big help if I had to worry about that. And the next thing is timely collection progress reminders. So it states that while collecting level up materials, real-time notifications will show your progress, helping you determine whether you have achieved your set targets at any time. This I really, really like, because if you
This
set
is
a
really cool.
target and you're like, look, I want to have enough books or whatever for the next level or whatever that you're trying to get to, that is extremely helpful. So you can back out, level what you need to, and that's actually just, in my personal opinion, I think that's just going to bring it to a whole new level to know, okay, do I use the condensed or do I use this little bit of resin that I have
Yeah.
right now? Or did I accidentally do one over than I need to? It's one less calculation to have to do in your head, really.
Yeah, and like having my phone be able to tell me, "Hey, today is your philosophy of order because you're trying to build this X Fontaine character. That's open today." And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay." Because sometimes, after having just played so long and having tried to build so many characters, there's been multiple instances where I've just forgotten, "Oh, today I was supposed to spend my resin here to try to build this character," and ended up spending it on just a different character. It's not like it was wasted. It just my priorities got mixed up a little bit just because I don't ultra plan it because I'm like building everything anyways, so anywhere I spend my residence pretty much progress. But yeah, this is nice. I can't wait to see that.
Unlike me, who I'm not building every character, and so I just slap everything into a certain artifact domain and then get absolutely nothing. See, that sucks. When you were supposed to actually get like talent materials that day, and instead you just blew it all on artifacts, I'm gonna be
Because
honest,
that
not
little bit of
happy.
hope to be like, can I get that one goblet?
Yeah, and you weren't even trying for it, and then yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely not fun. But at least that is there for you, so that's pretty helpful. The next thing
yeah.
we see is material sorting display optimized for easier understanding. So starting from 5.4, some interfaces will prioritize higher rarity level up materials, make it easier to find the necessary drop information. So as you can see, before optimization, it was just kind of like all dark, but now here it states the after optimization, it immediately throws the higher level materials towards the beginning. So you can see how like the 3-star artifacts here are being
Yeah.
shown, and then it switches to the 4s. Now I guess it's just more or less of a small help rather than a large help. I really don't see how it helps too much. If as long as you scroll down to the bottom and you're fighting
Hmm.
constantly the level 80 and higher stuff, you won't have a problem. But once again, these are issues that I think late game players, people with whatever, are not usually worrying about. But I think once again, those middle to early game players are actually going to find a lot of use for these quality of life changes as we go through the time in Genshin.
Our next thing is a weapon interface optimization. They added this recommended secondary attribute function to help you quickly find weapons suitable for your current character. Starting from version 5.4, you can use the filter function in the weapon interface to check weapon secondary attributes that best suit your current character. So that's pretty nice. Basically you're filtering by that main stat on the weapon. So obviously you have the base attack, but then you have, okay, is it an ER weapon, an EM weapon, crit rate, crit damage, etc. Meanwhile, in the filter interface, the recommended attributes will be displayed at the top with a little thumbs up recommendation icon to help you quickly identify your best options. So yeah, this is really good. So like if we're thinking here like Arlecchino's weapon, and let's just say you don't have her signature and you're trying to just figure out, okay, what do I have that would be good on her? It's at least with this function here, it's telling you, hey, crit rate's really good, crit damage right behind that's going to be good, and if you don't have that, attack percent is really good. So that's just pretty helpful, and I'm guessing those numbers just means that that account has 5 crit rate weapons, 1 crit damage weapon, 9 attack weapons. That's just my guess there. So that's pretty nice. What's your opinion on that, Vixen?
I think once again, it's going to help those people that don't know really what to go after. Obviously, your
Mm-hmm.
build guides, your people, your answering other areas are going to definitely be more helpful in specific answers, but in a very baseline kind of format. For certain characters, you may not know exactly how they're built, or, certain characters they want, some characters want, let's say a
Right.
character like Kachina really likes defense percent, but a lot of people go for Favonius Lance, so usually energy recharges on the weapon. If you were not really thinking about it, you might throw Footprint in the Rainbow. Now, for instance, I use that weapon on her because I personally want to. Now, the difference is if you don't know what's really best and you're just trying to figure out whatever is quote unquote the best or what's used by the majority, then this could just once again just be another help. It's just an extension really of the artifacts filter
Mm-hmm.
thrown onto the weapons. I do
I
like
think
that
it's
it has
something that's
multiple though, so that you can like click
yeah,
multiple if they have like
yeah,
both types of
exactly.
crits, both types of attack, attack percent and crit or whatever it is. I think that's helpful.
I think it's just great for those casual players, the players who just kind of want to just play through the game and not worry too much about hyper investment and all that stuff. That's just, for them it's a little bit trivial and they just don't really care too much. I'm just here to log on 30 minutes a day, if not every day, every other day. I'm just playing through the story. This at least helps them throw on half decent, if not a little bit better items for their characters so they can actually play content. They're not worried about that, floor 12-3 in the abyss and stuff like that. So it's great for stuff like that.
Yeah. The next thing we have is one-click weapon refinements. After the new update, you can hit the auto add button, which if you see here, kind of look a little bit closer if you can even. When he auto adds or this person auto adds, the weapons they're using are actually locked and they're instantly unlocked as well. So they're locked initially, then you just hit the confirm button and then they're instantly unlocked. Just a quicker version instead of having to just press and do multiple presses, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Really just making us really lazy in this game, aren't they?
For
The
real.
next part is character interface optimization. So starting from 5.4, the developers will add to keyboard and mouse mode a feature to filter characters based on their elemental types. Now keep in mind, this is not going to be for any other mode, it seems like, besides keyboard and mouse. So it doesn't look like it is for mobile. It doesn't look like it is for, whatever the like consoles or whatnot. It's only going to be for PC. I would think that in the future it would probably be for phone, just because mobile, just because it makes sense a little bit more because they're
Yeah,
kind of similar.
like why
usually.
not?
Yeah,
So
usually
that's
they're a
kind of
lot easier to
interesting.
do, but you can switch characters now with just a filter function on the character interface. So here you'll just be able to only choose the Hydro characters in your team, or in your on your account only the Dendro ones. You can click multiple probably at one time. That'll allow you to just see characters rather than pull up the side menu on the bottom left, then sort them and blah blah blah. At least it's now at the top. It's pretty quick and easy when you're doing that. And then the last thing is the Serenity Pot. Contact Tubby directly. A new Tubby tab will provide the Switch Realm layout, the Create Furnishing tab, and the Realm Depot function will be added to a different area. So after the version update, you can open that icon at any time to perform these operations without having to talk to Tubby. So while you're in the Serenity
Cool.
Pot, you don't have to go through his annoying, like, 3-step dialogue JRPG progress where you have to just sit there and wait for him to stop talking. At least now, it just makes those things quicker, especially when you're trying to do these three things. I like that it is these three. When you're trying to create a furnishing, when you're trying to just buy something, people are just trying to come in, get out quick, and just be done. And then also switching your realm layout. If you just want to change between your different worlds, you don't want to have to sit there and deal with his dialogue. So I think
Yeah, for real.
those are definitely just, once again, more quality of life changes, definitely for those crafters and builders in Genshin, or maybe apart from the other people. But also, probably the biggest piece of helpful information, which is just kind of like thrown in at the end here for some odd reason, is that Sanctifying Elixir, I'll read it and then just kind of summarize, but it says, to provide a better level up experience for you, we will optimize the mechanics of the Sanctifying Elixir from version 5.5 and onward. So it starts at 5.5. Starting from version 5.5, when using Sanctifying Elixir to define artifacts, the defined minor affixes, which is your substats, will be guaranteed to receive at least 2 enhancements when enhanced to level 20, thus improving your character building efficiency. Now, Rift, what do you think about that?
I'm just glad that this means you're guaranteed at least a mid artifact. It has to be at least mid or better. It can't be
Right.
garbage, because I've had this happen in Star Rail, and I'm sure some of you veteran Star Rail players can relate, possibly, but I'll go and use that self-modeling resin, and I've even used the new stuff where you can pick the substats, and then it doesn't touch them at all, and just felt like such a complete waste. So to have something that at least guarantees that, a halfway decent artifact, is just nice.
That's kind of everything, at least looking at the developers discussion right now. If you guys have any other things that you guys are maybe looking forward to, or maybe what was your favorite thing here, I'm pretty sure most people are going to be saying this bottom part here. In my opinion, usually I like to try to find something else that's not extremely maybe meta defiant, if that makes any sense. Try not to be,
Yeah.
that kind of way. But honestly, this is just has to be my favorite. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
basically what this means is hold on to your sanctifying elixir until 5.5. Do not use them. It's just going to get a buff, so you might as well not, handicap yourself in the meantime. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think of the dev discussion that came out yesterday. And let us know what you guys think. Let us know what your guys' favorite part was. If you guys did like the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. We have a Discord as well if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Thank you once again for watching the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.